Hi, first grade. Today we will create a shared writing fiction story. How will we do that? We will work together with the teacher and we will create a piece of shared writing. This is important so we can become better writers. Fiction. Fiction is, the author's purpose is to entertain. Fiction is, you're reading to enjoy it. Fiction is read in order from beginning to middle to the end, and it has story elements like characters and setting, problem, events, solution. Fiction is a story that is not true. Okay? So is the Three Little Pigs a fiction story? Yes. A story that is written to entertain, has a beginning, middle, and end with characters and setting is a fiction story. It is not true. So we're going to write a story today that's just to entertain. You're reading to enjoy it. It has characters and setting, and it is not true. Correct. All right, so here's what we're going to do today. We are going to come up with our character, our setting, and our problem. Okay? So the way we're going to find our character is we're going to use roll a story. We're going to roll a dice, and if it lands on a 1, this would be your character. If it lands on a 2, this would be your character. A 3, this one, a 4, this one, a 5, this one, and a 6. If you land on a 6, it's going to be the grumpy dwarf. Okay? So let me show you how we're going to find our character. We're going to click here to roll a dice. So we click here to roll a dice, and then we hit pause. What did it land on? A 1. So our character is going to be a grumpy turkey. So I'm going to type over here, a grumpy turkey. So our story today is going to be about a grumpy turkey. Now we're going to roll the dice again to see where the setting's going to be. Where is the story going to take place? So click on roll a dice. And then pause when you want it to stop. We rolled a 2. So now we look for the 2 and go across to our setting. At the church, a grumpy turkey at the church. Oh my goodness, that's going to be a silly story, right? So now I'm going to write in the setting at the church because that's where the story is going to take place. Now we have our character, a grumpy turkey. The story takes place at the church. Now we need to roll a dice to find our problem. What problem is the grumpy turkey going to have? So click on roll a dice. And then click pause for it to stop. And we rolled a 6. A 6. So here is the 6. And if we go all the way across, the problem is he finds some witch feet. What? That's going to be a crazy story. He finds some witch feet. So let me write that in my graphic organizer. So now I have a story about a grumpy turkey that takes place at the church, and he finds some witch feet. Let's see. What would be a good way to start that story? Once there was a grumpy turkey. That sound okay? All right. Okay, there's my first sentence. Once there was a grumpy turkey. Now, what could we say for the next sentence? He lived at the church? That sound good? Okay. Okay, so far we have once there was a grumpy turkey. He lived at the church. I've got an idea. Is there a way we can combine he lived at the church with another sentence and make it a compound sentence? Could we add a comma and then another sentence? Let's see if we can do that. Okay, so we have, once there was a grumpy turkey. He lived at the church and he slept all day. Do you like that? I put a comma, and he slept all day. Sound good to you? Okay, so now we need to write his problem. Remember what his problem was. He finds some witch feet. So we are going to add a sentence about him finding some witch feet. Let me think about that for a minute. You think about it. Let's see if we come up with something we both like. Ready? Okay. Thinking. Any luck? I didn't have too much luck. I wrote, one day he found some witch feet by a blank. What can we put in the blank? I'm going to let you do that because I couldn't think of anything to write on there. Did you think of a word to put in the blank? One day he found some witch feet by a blank. Your answer goes right here, wherever you want him to find the witch feet. Now let's think of a question we could ask. What would be a question he could ask about the witch feet? What would you say? What would be the first thing you said? Where did these come from? That is a great question. So let me write, Okay, so we have, where did these come from? Now, is there another question that the turkey might ask about those shoes or those feet? Where did they come from? And who do they belong to? That would be a great question. How can we combine those two questions? Where did these come from? And who do they belong to? What can I put instead of the question mark right here? That's right. I can put a comma, and. Let me go put my comma and. Okay, so what do you think so far? Once there was a grumpy turkey. He lived at the church and he slept all day. One day he found some witch feet by a blank. Where did these come from and who do they belong to? Does that sound good so far? All right, so now let's think of a solution to our problem or to the turkey's problem. How could our story end that would be a good solution to his problem? He found some witch feet. How could he solve that problem? What could happen to solve that? Oh, wait a minute. Let me see what you think about this. Okay, so I added, after where did these come from and who do they belong to, I added this sentence. They belong to me, said a nice old witch. Sound okay? If you like it, great. If you don't, send me some of your ideas so we can add something or change something, or you can just change it in your journal when you rewrite the story. So today you're going to copy this story in your journal. You're going to illustrate your story. That means you're going to draw a picture right there in the big white space, okay? You're going to draw a picture of our story. Just copy these sentences. Once there was a grumpy turkey. He lived at the church and he slept all day. One day he found some witch feet by a blank. Where did these come from and who do they belong to? They belong to me, said a nice old witch. Okay, copy the story, draw a picture of the story, and then you're going to take a picture and upload it to your Google Classroom. That's all for today. Have a good day. Bye.